Hello everyone, Startinglife Warrior Extraordinaire here, ready to make and present to you this long-awaited video on my UI, add-ons, macros, keybinds, and a little bit of my general history as a player. Alright, so let's get to. My first problem as a player was discovering a good UI. I remember back when I played a couple of years ago, I had a very hard time PvPing. I couldn't keep an eye on my health frame, my cooldowns, their health, my partner's health, where they were in the game, where my healer was in the game, and was I LOSing my healer. There was all sorts of fundamental issues I had to tackle, and the way I chose to do it was with a very clever UI that is very easy for me as a player. Not maybe easy for you, but as for me, this works out. And I'm going to explain to you a little bit of what each add-on does for me. Cursor is strictly just something I got because I have a dual monitor set up. It's useful. It lets you know when your mouse leaves the screen and a little bit. That's basically it. Action bar saver, not really used. I could even turn that off, but I'm not going to bother. Bag Brother, pretty self-evident. Stores all your character inventory. Bank vault, you may view them from anywhere. Bagnon, single window displayed for your inventory and bank, pretty nice. Bagnon. Bartender, that's a good one. Bartender is basically how I easily move all my bars around and do all my keybinds very easily, very fast. Battleground targets, it's for BGing. It allows me to click on players before the BG even starts so I can see how squishy which player is. Chatter, eliminates spam. Class color bars, pretty self-explanatory. Debuff filter again. Diminishing returns, this is a nice add-on. These are PvP ones. Debuff filter, diminishing returns, Gladiator LOSSA, that's like 90% of the add-on I use. Like, this is my main PvP add-on. I could get rid of the rest of them. I wouldn't be the player I am without Gladiator LOS. E-Align, it just brings up this alignment grid. I'll show you that. Juked is also a pretty nice add-on. It puts every ability that they do on your screen. So say they're going to scattershot you, you see the scattershot, you see the hammer justice, you actually know when it's coming up. So you actually have a chance at reflecting that flash freeze, especially if they're keeping it on constant cooldown. Mappy just makes a cool mini map. Move anything, this again is a pretty sick UI. Enhancement add-on, I really recommend it. Move anything, I really like it. OmniCC, again, good stuff. OQ, this is a needed social mesh networking add-on. It allows you to group anybody across filters. The only thing you can't do is cross alliances. Plate buffs, pretty simple. Postal, this is a mailbox. Quartz, recount, retab binder, this again. So say you're facing a lot of shamans, hunters, whatever. This makes it so anytime you hit tab, you're only going to tab the players. It has a PvE and a PvE function. So whenever you're not PvPing, you're in a PvE setting, it'll switch. It won't just break. Super duper macro, this is for noobs. This is like PvE shit. I don't even know why I still have it. Tidy plates, blah blah blah, all the way down to S Arena, which replaced my Gladius. You'll see that I don't even have that on. And this is for when I feel like noobing it out on a healer. I have Voodoo. Weak auras just isn't working for me, so I have that turned off. I should probably uninstall. It's probably causing me problems. Alright, so that's my add-on list. Explained each use of my add-ons and how I relate them to my gameplay. So now we're going to go to my Area 52 warrior. This is my main warrior Startinglife. I've been playing him since, oh wow, like the end of BC, right before Lich King is when I came over to Area 52. Back then, Area 52 was the third most hardcore server in the game. So just looking at my character and my UI, let me kind of get out of here a little bit and just give you a nice easy look at everything. So this is my UI. I have these two bars surrounding the middle of my screen. This is all the buffs that I have right here. So as I get buffed and debuffed, and they'll kind of appear right there. All the juke things, all those bars that I was talking about appear here. Their health bars will appear here in Arena, and here's my target. And here's my allies, they'll be right around there. Okay, so this is my stance bar, and I can switch between defensive and battle stance very easily. I'm a PvP warrior, so I'm not really concerned with berserker stance at all. I can literally just swap between these two stances. Battle stance is for when you're not targeted. Defensive stance is for when you are targeted. Alright, my UI is pretty self-explanatory, very minimalistic. And here's Mappy for you, that's why my UI looks like that. And here's Move Anything for you. It just goes to show you I can move that around, I can move this around, and this is Bartender. These bars, this is all Bartender. So now I'm just going to show you the strength of Bartender and why I like it so much. So I just click on key bindings here, and now I can just scroll over anything, and you'll see that I can change its key binding. And while I'm here, I'm going to cover key bindings. Make sense? So I'm not going to cover each macro just yet. I'll get to the macro screen and I'll cover that in a minute. So if I'm just going to cover these real quick. All my whole general idea is I wanted to look as easy as it was on my screen as it was the mental processing in my brain. So what I do is from top to bottom is left to right as well, just like reading a book. So you'll notice that, for instance, Die by Sword is F2, Shield Wall is F3, Rally Cry is F4, and that's kind of like the general gist right there. That's the main key right there. The rest of it is all pretty much all over the place, and the only thing that really makes sense again is this kind of bar over here and this bottom bar right here. So I'll explain it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war, and here's my spacebar button. So if I hit spacebar, you'll see I'm spamming Heroic Strike. If I hit 1, I'm spamming Slam. 2, Colossus Smash, Charge, Hamstring. 3, Overpower. 4 is Sweeping Strikes and Thunderclap. E and R will stance me. Q will be my Fear Bomb. F2, F3, F4 I already explained are my majors. Now this is actually a tricky one. I have to hold down Shift, forward mouse click, and I'll do a Spell Reflect. If I hit a W, I'll Heroic Leap. You see that little wavy line next to the 1? Yeah, that's my disarm. Shift and mouse button back will do Recklessness for me. A will do a Berserking Rage. That's a pummel, so this is mouse wheel up. Just plain out mouse wheel up. My interrupt, I like putting interrupts on mouse wheels. Make sense? So if you're just spamming your mouse wheel at a target, running at them, the second you touch them, bam. Or if you're a mage and you're just spamming that counterspell on your scroll mouse wheel, the second they go to cast, they're interrupted. It's pretty nice. Mouse wheel down is my staggering shot. So literally, I charge in, I just start spamming that scroll mouse wheel down. As soon as they're hamstrung, they're rooted. And then just forward mouse button. It's actually forward mouse button is my Blade Storm, just straight up, and shift forward mouse button is my Rex Storm. So I'll hold down shift, I'll queue up my Rex Storm, and then release shift, and then I'll just Blade Storm. Pretty simple. Here's the one-shot macro, here's the Blade Storm. So now T, what am I trying to show you here? Okay, so T and Y are my tits and ass. It's my Trinket and Will of Forsaken. I don't even know why I have a Heroic Strike button. That actually doesn't make sense. I probably just had that on there just to see. You can see it's not even macroed anything. But it was probably there just to make sure a certain macro worked or something. My interbeam is my actual just straight up back mouse button. Shouts is Shift F1 and F1, if you were wondering. S and D. S is my Shattering Throw. D is my Heroic Throw. Z and X will throw down my banners. Z is for Demoralizing Banner. X is for Mocking Banner. And then 5, 6, 7, 8 is for Symbiosis. Lastly, if I hit Shift Z or X, I will do a Taunt. C, we'll do a victory rush. Shift A, Shift B, or Shift S, Shift D, Shift F, and Shift G. Those are my Stormbolt macros. I'll cover those in a second. Numpad plus, this will switch me back to a two-hander. Don't worry about that. That's for like tanking and shit like that. 9-0 minus sign plus sign will bandage me, and then my mounts are on the right side of my keyboard, which is shift slash and just straight up slash. And then I have a console camera macro in there just in case something's going bad in the middle of my arena. I can still get into it. Now lastly, like I said, and all that's just point click easy just to change all the keybinds. I don't have to go into this page and find it and all that nonsense. No, that's just bartender, and what a great add-on that is. Okay, so now we're on to macros. This is the good stuff. Alright, so like I said, I have console reload UI macro. Boom. Bam, easy. I already showed you that. So now these are targeting macros. You don't really need them. You could just keybind them. I have them. No big deal. This is that super duper macro I told you about. It's super noob. Don't worry about it. Console camera max distance factor 5. Oh shit, did I spell max wrong? Mac factor? That's pretty funny. I don't know how long I've been typing that all wrong. Alright, well, that macro is now right. Camera distance max factor 5. All that's one word except for the space in between the word and 5. And that basically allows your camera to go at a max distance. Again, that's more of a PvE thing. There, you see I clicked it and now my camera's zooming out like crazy far. I mean, that's pretty far. I look like a dot right there. This is probably normal. This is probably what you guys are used to seeing. Something more along the lines right there. To go back to the macro page. So now this is where it starts getting good. So this is my victory rush. I don't want you to confuse this with my charge macro. This is my victory rush macro. If I proc victory rush, this is what I'm hitting, because it will charge me, victory rush them, and then hamstring them. Because sometimes when you're victory rushing, you're really low on health, you're about to die, or you are about to die and you accidentally get a victory rush. The worst thing that can happen is for you to have noticed that, be ready to do it, and the person's just 10 feet away from you. And it's usually in a big baller situation. So it's nice to just macro that to victory rush, and then you don't have to worry about, am I next to him? You'll charge them if you're not next to him already. So it'll automatically go off, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you. And then it'll hamstring them for you, which is nice. Now this macro is the big baller essential one. It's Colossus Smash. But listen to the scripting on this. This is really cool. Once you charge somebody, you're technically within melee range of them. Colossus Smash activates on max melee range, whereas Hamstring only activates on min melee range. So, once I charge you, I'm technically in melee range. I couldn't hamstring you, but I can Colossus Smash you, because even though I'm 20 feet away at the beginning of a charge, I'm technically in melee range because I just charged you. So Colossus Smash will hit you the second I charge you, and by the time I hit you, I now have that free global to hamstring you. So literally I've hit you with 3 buttons, and the time it only takes to do 2. So it's pretty nice. Therefore, this is your charge macro. This is your standard charge macros where you pretty much have to have that. This is for back in BC. I just keep it just because I like all the scripting, important stuff. This is the disarm macro so that I don't have to be facing you to disarm you. If I'm holding down shift and then hit that disarm button, I'll disarm somebody I'm not even looking at. Okay? That's pretty nice. So like say I'm training a pally and I want to disarm the rogue, I can look at rogue, disarm them, stay on pally, and I could still get that kick, you understand? Recklessness, this is just your basic. I could even type in there slash use 13 for those of you who want to use trinket. You would probably actually want to use the trinket before you execute, so it would be like this, slash use 13. And look at this, basic stuff. Bloodbath, Blood Fury, Recklessness, Skull Banner, use your trinket, which is slot 13. That's the top one, right? Boom. What am I doing? So baller trinket right here. 13, 14. This is the 13. This is the 14 slot. This is the 13 slot. Top one is 13. Bottom one's 14. So use 13 is this one. Obviously, it's not going to do anything because mine is attack on hit proc. But whenever I bring up my other macro, my other trinket, that'll already be written for me. Very nice. This is just for when I run Avatar. It's just the same thing, only minus the Bloodbath and add the Avatar. I'm not an orc, so I don't even need this Blood Fury Ryan, but I just keep it in there because I give this macro to so many people that may as well just keep it in there and just let the orcs figure it out. It won't break your macro for using it. Heroic Throw slash throw. This is nice. This is a BG macro, really. I've never killed anybody in arena with slash throw, but it will stop people from just rooting you and then taking the flag. Pretty nice. Intervene, standard intervene macro. Slash target friend, slash use safeguard, slash target last enemy. Now, you don't even have to be safeguard spec for this intervene macro to work. Even if I drop the safeguard spec and I go right into mass spell reflect, let's just say, I can still use this to intervene around. It didn't break it just because it's safeguard. So you can just write it to safeguard, it'll still intervene. The reason this macro is so nice is because when you get rooted and you're trying to kill somebody, you spam that button, it'll intervene the closest player to you. Because generally, the further you go when you intervene, the further you have to now run back to get to the guy you were just DPSing. So you want to essentially intervene nowhere. You just want to break the roots and get right back on that guy. And that's what that macro will do for you. It's pretty nice. Here's an intimidating shout macro. You're gonna intimidating shout somebody, but you want no chance in breaking it. This is the macro. There's pretty much no reason you don't want that macro. If you're gonna continue on with your rotation anyway, it's not gonna hurt you to have that stopcast in there. It just won't. Mocking banner. I'll explain you my easier one. This one kind of poopy. I actually do not like it. I'll explain why later. Okay, so this is my favorite macro. This is my Mortal Strike slash Focus Arena 2 slash Cast Mortal Strike taunt. So here's why this is so nice. Taunt is off at the global cooldown, costs no rage, there's no penalty in spamming it. None. So as I'm fighting, I'm just taunting pets to me with that. And that's why spacebar is my spam button, because I pretty much freely hit spacebar, freely hit Mortal Strike, I'm just spamming it all game. I want Mortal Strike on constant cooldown, by the way. That's how I get all my rage. So, Mortal Strike, constant cooldown, put it with taunt, you'll be using it all the time anyway. Very nice, very nice. Pummel, this makes it so I don't have to target you to kick you. I can just look at you and kick. Same thing with the disarm that I was talking about earlier. Rally Cry, very similar to the last, you'll see it kind of holds true with the shield wall and the dive eye. It's just a fuckload of shit. When you're popping these cooldowns, you want everything to go. And you'll see I even have some PvE stuff in there, last stand, enraged regen, like I'm a PvP warrior, like I'm gonna do that. And then you'll see I have the use 13 before the last stand in the Rally Cry. Because Rally Cry goes off percent health, right? So if I can get that up at all, it's even more health I generate, right? So it's just really nice stuff. You want to take advantage of every last mechanic you can. I'm not really sure how the scripting is, if you want to Rally Cry and then last stand, or if you want to last stand and then Rally Cry. Somebody will look into that for me, but that's roughly it. At the end of it all, you're probably at like 1,000,000 health. If you start doing an enraged regen, it's going to heal you for like 20,000 a second. Insane heals. It's going to be really nice. So that's like a tanky one. It's pretty nice for these for the Hearthstone line, really. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines that are really nice in PvP. Oh, this is nice. This is my Shattering Throw macro. This is what is on my S key. So it's a Hand of Protection and Bladestorm cancel aura. So say I'm Bladestorming a target and they get away from me, right? I get knocked away. they jump away, whatever. They're not near me anymore. I'm just blade storming. But yeah, let's talk about a warrior. A warrior heroic leaps away from me as I blade storm. If I wait for the end of blade storm, he'll charge me. If I wait for the end of blade storm, they can queue up a cast so that the second it's out, whatever. There's a couple different options they have. But what I can do is I can cancel the blade storm and then charge them or kick them, disarm them, whatever I need to do. Cancel blade storm, shield wall sometime. Sometimes you need to do it. Sometimes you blade storm just to break the roots, and then you got a wall immediately thereafter. It's nice to have a cancel or a button. It's actually needed. Here's my defensive one-shot macro, and as you can see, it's got another healthstone macroed in there. It's really like, it's like first come first serve. Whatever you're never gonna be upset you pop the healthstone. You're just never gonna be upset. So you put it with your shield wall and your rally cry, and you'll be just fine and peachy. Battle stance, spell reflection, self-explanatory. I probably don't even use this. I don't even use this. This is like an old macro. Don't even worry about that. I don't even know why I did that. Stormbolt, this is just so I can see the Stormbolt, whatever. It's, again, more PvE stuff. Don't worry about that too much. And then this macro, this I actually use. This is my number 4. Thunderclap, Sweeping Strikes. Very good stuff. I really like that one. Very nice. Next page of macros. This is target equal arena 1, intimidating shout, etc. Target equal arena 2, Stormbolt. So when people ask, are you an arena 1, 2, 3 player? They're talking about these macros. You see this one says 1, this one says 2, this one says 3. So say I'm playing in a 3v3. If I hit this Stormbolt button, Stormbolt arena 1, this button right over here, the first arena frame on my screen will get a Stormbolt. If I hit the second one, the second player on the arena screen will get a Stormbolt. No matter who I'm targeting, no matter who my set focus is, it'll just Stormbolt off into the middle of nowhere. Player just got Stormbolted. I don't need to target you. I don't need to find you or any of that crap. I just hit that button, you get a Stormbolt to the fizzle. And very similar mechanics to my Fear Bomb. I'm trying to Fear Bomb that arena frame. Not everybody. I just want to get that one frame. Bleed Storm, Heroic Strike. Heroic Strike is a really bad thing to hit as a warrior, but it's really nice if they're at 1% and you have 100 rage and you want to dump it all in 1 second. It's really nice for that kill. Demoralizing Banner, I actually like this one. You throw down a demo banner, charge to it. Pretty nice. Mocking Banner, same thing. Mocking Banner is actually really nice to get people out of stealth. If you can throw it down on a rogue who you're pretty sure where you can find at least one of his partners, you can knock them out of his shroud of concealment and screw their opener, essentially, which is really nice. Shockwave, the exact same thing as Bladestorm. I swapped these two positions out, no big deal. Symbiosis, we've already seen that. And here's my intervene to a healer macro. This is one I use pretty much strictly only versus hunters. And literally, I'm just going to healer intervene. So this intervene macro will go in place of this intervene macro, and I'll only intervene when he's trying to trap my healer. And so that's my macros. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. That's what my macros look like. And you can watch me on stream, actually. I stream at Twitch TV/Startinglife. Everything's phonetic. This is my first actual real video that I've made, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad for me to show you a little bit of my DPS rotation here. From what I understand, I want to charge in there, Mortal Strike, and get 2 slams off under a Colossus Smash. As you can see, it's kind of hard to look at my UI and decipher what's going on. I actually had to swap dances there. So when you're building rage initially, it's like, yeah, you know, it's like, look at your rage. It's really hard to do 2 slams. Not really. Once I hit 60 rage, which is going to be any second, probably after this Mortal Strike. No, yeah, there we go. Now I Colossus Smash, slam, slam. Look at that damage. It just like dwarfs everything else I'm doing. It really does. and that's under a Colossus Smash. You'll see that without the Colossus Smash, my slams don't hit for those crazy absurd numbers. But once I do this Colossus Smash, just watch. Watch the damage here. Okay, there's a Colossus Smash, here's a slam. It's like, bam, every time I hit, boom, big proc comes up. Here's another Colossus Smash. Now watch the slam. Here it comes, 1, 2, 3, boom. Boom. Big damage. Every time you hit with a slam on a Colossus Smash, it's usually very good damage. Now lastly, I'm going to cover my gemming and this sort of thing. And you'll see that if you look at my stats here, it's a pretty much crit buff warrior. Pretty much stacking crit like crazy. Here's my strength. And let's go over the meta. 216, 3% increased crit because I'm stacking crit. Makes a little bit of sense, huh? But let's just say this. If I were running with a different team, I would have no problem going right over here and swapping out, well, it's probably in the bank. But I have all the necessary meta gems to swap out, so I just have them in the bank, it would seem. Yeah. Okay. Here's a long list of my potions. Again, everything's fully gemmed and enchanted. Just your basic gem and enchant set. Just a lot of crit stacking. I'm a blacksmithing enchanter. And, you know, just looking to do that damage. So now you're probably like, well, why are you even making this video? You're a 1700 warrior. Well, yeah, that's actually hurt my feelings, but, you know, I've actually pushed up to 1900 multiple times on my CR, and my MMR gets farmed at around 2.3k. I just haven't found a group to break into the 2k ratings yet. It's very, very difficult. But yeah, just keep your head down, keep plugging away at it. Just, you know, right when you think about quitting is when you just need to switch up what kind of PvP you're doing. Are you doing 2s, 3s, 5s? As you can see, I've got about maybe 4,000 game or 3,500 games played there, about 700 and about 160, and then 100. So yeah, um, about 4.5k games. You know, let's just round it up, say 5,000 games played this season, and you kind of just, you know, I feel so much better than I was at the beginning of the season before I put in these 5,000 games. It's just, you know, it's just you gotta keep plugging away. And what was funny is when I first started the season, I shot up to like 1900. I thought it was gonna be easy hitting that 2.2k, but after I spent a couple more thousand games plugging away at it, I found out it was not gonna be that easy. But yeah, just keep trying. Hope you enjoy this video, and if you have any questions, put them down in the comments section. And love your local grocer, and you know what? Even love my cat. Alright. Have a nice day, all. Love you too. Bye bye.